be wrapped up in your feelings and be careful when you flash it.
Good morning!
Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy. It's getting too spicy, I ain't even had my coffee. Don't be wrapped up in your feelings and be careful when you flash it. And when you play the game, man, you better know your options. Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm up early in the morning, time to get it in. Time to show and prove, show you what I've been doing. They saying fools rush in, but I'm coming with a passion. I'm trying to get to know you while you thinking that I'm asking. I like to get
Good morning.
I done came so, and I just woke up out my sleep, threw some water on my face. Yeah, it's just another Golden State. Ain't no tossing and turning, no time for a sauna. I know the best.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
And give it my all if I hope you want what I promise. And even if I fail,
let's go.
I was honest. See, I can only do what's in my power to do and what good is power.
Mexican Guru, nice to see you, brother.
To the top, I gotta study clues.
Or I can sit
back and just watch.
Lipton, good morning. Hey.
Don't try to photocopy, you can never top me.
I was born to be a winner, you could never stop me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Photocopy when you out here being saucy.
It's getting too spicy, I ain't even had my coffee.
Don't be wrapped up in your feelings and be careful when you flash it.
And when you play the game, man, you better know Queen Flea, good morning. Another day.
I just put my watch on, you know what time it is. I'm chasing my purpose in this music business. Let's get
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no competition, there's no excuses for opposition. One thing's for certain, I'm motivated to be in the kitchen. I gotta listen if I wanna make a difference. Cause what I'm doing can be
good morning. You know what we're here to do.
So why the hell are they tripping? Is it because I'm the one that they see in their visions? I got a million different ways I can hit with precision. I know I'm gifted cause the way that I speak causes change. And even though it's hard, I stayed in my lane.
Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't try to photocopy, you can never top me. I was born to be a winner, you can never stop me.
Don't try to photocopy, you could never top me. I was born to be a winner, you could never stop me. Let's go. Mark Bros, please cut it out. Too early to get started with this.
It's getting too spicy, I ain't even had my coffee. Don't be wrapped up in your
feelings and be careful, ladies and gentlemen.
When you play the game, man, you better know your options. Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy.
Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy. Alright, Maggie, you hear me?
Yeah.
Wow, I got a lot going on over here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Bros, please cut it out. Don't be a photocopy, be yourself. Don't be a photocopy, be yourself. You hear me?
Yeah. It's me.
It's me, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be a photocopy, be yourself. Don't be a photocopy, be yourself.
Yeah.
Yep, you know exactly why we're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know how it is. Don't be a photocopy, be yourself. Don't be a photocopy, be yourself.
Hey!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's me, Mr. Cross, aka Zeus.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
As you can tell, like me and straight twice.
Alright.
Alright, we done with this.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Thunderdome. We are once again back doing the Lord's work, and you know exactly why we are here. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, you guessed it. The first H is because, well, I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. There's nobody more honest than me. The second H, ladies and gentlemen, is because, well, I'm humble. All right. There's nobody more humble than me. And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because you guessed it. I am and will always remain the most handsome. Hold on real quickly. Okay. We gotta do this. I will and always will remain the most handsome. There you go. You got a lot going on. Many of you are familiar with what we do over here on this side of town, on this side of TikTok. What we do is, number one, we vote blue, all right? And we're going to continue to help our vice president, soon to be president, Kamala Harris, become the next president of the United States. We are going to do that, definitely. But we also hold our friends on the right, especially their cult leader, Donald J. Trump, accountable for their dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds as well as their crimes, right? And believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it safe to say when it comes to dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds and crimes, the people on the right, the MAGA Republicans, it seems like they've hit the jackpot, right? And so I got a bit of a heads up to give you Trump supporters. Do we have any Trump supporters?
My friend Kamala's coming up.
Do we have any Trump supporters in the chat right now? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, all right? I know we're just warming up the live right now, but put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. I'm just curious because I want to make sure I know who's in the audience, all right? We got Ocean, all right? Thor, you're here to learn. Good. Okay, I need you. Okay, Ava, all right? What I need you all to do is... please take a seat, all right, anywhere you want, all right? And do me a huge favor. You don't even have to, the way this show runs, you don't even have to type anything in the chat, all right? I normally would charge you for this information, Mag. I normally would, right? I normally would say, you know what? There's a gifting goal up there. Make sure Zeus completes it. And then in order for me to move forward, I would tell you, I won't move forward and give you this information until I complete my gifting goal. But today's a special day for you Trump supporters, all right? That doesn't even matter. What matters is that you sit your special behinds down and listen to this special broadcast, all right? Because I got to tell you the truth. Now, a lot of you might be out there eating your breakfast right now, and I got something to give you or something to tell you before I move forward. If you're a Trump supporter and you're eating your breakfast right now, because it's like, 6:40 a.m. Pacific time, I'm in California, I might ruin your breakfast this morning. You know, you just went through that McDonald's drive-through, and you ordered your Big Mac. No, it's too early for a Big Mac. Can I get that Egg McMuffin and a hash brown, 2 apple pies, because that's all American, right? And then you got yourself a nice little Diet Coke. You went to the second window, and they handed it to you, and you're going to listen to this broadcast, and then you're going to go, you know what? I'm not so hungry anymore. Why are you not so hungry? Oh, because Zeus and his friends, they've told me the truth about my daddy, all right? And your daddy is Donald Trump. So listen up, MAGA. If you don't want me to ruin your breakfast, leave this live and go on about your miserable morning because it's going to get dangerously uncomfortable, all right? But you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time,
that's you.
Very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. Let the show begin. How many of you think Donald Trump is fit to be president of the United States? Does anyone still believe Donald Trump is fit to be president of these United States, considering this week, this last month, I would say? Actually, let's just go his entire life of disrespecting our men and women in uniform. I'm not going to let it go. You know, the news cycle is interesting, right? Donald Trump does so many things to get the headlines that it's kind of hard to figure out, okay, which one of these is the most serious offense. And I'm still holding on to what he did at Arlington National Cemetery, the way he disrespected our troops. Our men and women, you know, a lot of us, we have family members that have joined the services. You know, you've traveled all over the world, stayed on military bases all over the world. You know, your loved ones leave, they go overseas, and you're worried. And this deranged, unfit, he does have dementia. You could tell by the way he leans forward. He's disgraceful. He shows zero respect towards our men and women in uniform. And I had to think about it yesterday, and I said, he shows more respect to President Xi. He shows more respect to Kim Jong-un. He shows more respect to Vladimir Putin than he does our men and women in uniform, than our own intelligence agencies. All right? So this is going to be a little bit more of the reality of who Donald Trump is and why he's unfit to be the commander-in-chief. Faith, not hope, unity. If you don't mind, send me a guest request. If you really mean what you say, please send me a guest request because I'm in the middle of something.
Is on day 2 of its bus campaign. Is on day 2 of its bus tour through Battleground, Georgia.
We wanted to come by just to let you know that our country is counting on you.
A new set of Fox News polls showing Harris and former President Trump neck and neck in Georgia.
So, MAGA, I just want you to understand. I posted a video. Fox News is actually saying this too. This woman right here, Kamala Harris, she's actually closed the gap that was between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. She's closed it, right? And I'll go one step further. They're actually saying, guess what? She's beating Donald Trump in the polls. Wait a second, Ann, I don't think I've met you before, Ann. Ann, would you mind getting in the box? Ann, I'm just a little concerned about what you just said, Ann. Ann, you want to get in the box and put a little meat on the bone? Ann, because Cry Me a River, he gets the job done. Are you singing me a song, Ann? Or are you saying something about Kamala Harris that I need to check in with you about? What has Kamala Harris done, Ann, to warrant you showing your worst behavior on TikTok? Ann, are you a Christian, Ann? Ladies and gentlemen, Ann is too afraid to get in the box and actually speak up and actually explain what she's talking about. She's what we say possessed by the MAGA demon. I believe Ann might be a great person when she's not possessed with the MAGA demon. You ever seen one of those people who get a little tipsy? You know, they're great, but when they get a little tipsy, then all of a sudden they're not so great. That's Ann. Ladies and gentlemen, Ann, you're possessed with the MAGA demon, and Zeus doesn't have time for that. So what we're going to do is take care of business. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm turned up the temperature on the Lake of Fire. The temperature is really, really high right now. Join me in giving Ann our first honorable round of booze and shame as we toss her into the Lake of Fire, all right? Because she's a hypocrite, she's not a Christian, and she's definitely on her way to getting the ultimate MAGA reward. What's that? Jail? And if you don't get your soul right, hell with a chapter 11 in between. Let's give her a round of booze and shame. Bye, Ann. So, Ann, all I was saying is that if you check it out, Kamala Harris is actually leading in the polls. The end is near, MAGA. All right, brace yourselves. Incoming.
Previous polls, the results, all within the margin of error, also show a razor-thin race in other battleground states. The Trump campaign, meanwhile, defending its visit this week to Arlington National Cemetery after being criticized for politicizing hallowed ground.
What a horrible day it was.
The campaign had posted this highlight video on TikTok, showing Mr. Trump laying a wreath in honor of the service members killed at the Abbey Gate bombing in Afghanistan 3 years ago, and posing with some of their family members.
It's not Disney World, it's Arlington National Cemetery.
Do you hear that, MAGA? It's not Disney World. So why would he go there and disrespect our troops? Does anyone know why he went there? Any Trump supporters in the audience still? Because you know I have this thing where I know how to scare them away. Any Trump supporters in the audience still? Oh, look at that, Davio. All right, Davio. Come on in the box, Davio. Come on up in the box, Davio. You want to talk to Zeus. It was a photo op, yeah. See, Davio is too afraid to get in the box as well, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. See, Davio's too afraid to get in the box, too. You Trump supporters, deep down in whatever is left in your souls, you know the answer. He didn't go there because he respects those men and women in uniform. He went there to disrespect them. Photo op, yeah. It doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't stop there. Let's continue on, all right? But you know what I said? Before we move forward, I wanted to bring to everyone MAGA's attention. Donald Trump is going around here and he's blaming Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for the Afghanistan withdrawal. How many of you believe Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are responsible for the Afghanistan withdrawal? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe it. All right, because we got some more news about the horrific deal that, guess what, was cut with the Taliban, all right, to hand Afghanistan back to them. Who cut a deal with the Taliban? Does anyone know who cut a deal with the Taliban? A terrorist group. Does anyone know who did that?
The withdrawal from Afghanistan was very difficult, and it was complicated by the fact that the Trump administration handed over 5,000 terrorists, Taliban members, who murdered American citizens and soldiers.
Wow.
So, of course, it was going to make for a much more difficult withdrawal since the Trump administration handed those people over before American troops arrived, rather than as a condition of their departure. So it's not just a matter of execution, but it's also a matter of planning. And when your planning is to fail, just like the Donald Trump administration did, then any execution that's even better than a slight fail is pretty good. And that's what we got. I mean, we lost 13 brave men and women. And the fact is that it appears that Donald Trump is very guilty about botching the end of the Afghanistan war by cutting out the Afghan government, leading to their collapse.
So why are you blaming Trump?
So Donald Trump, no, Jared. This is facts. All right, let's see. Tanya, this is facts. You can go look this up. All right, and this is why we do shows like this, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we do shows, because what we got to do is we got to stop the misinformation and the disinformation, all right? So let's get into it a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it, if you don't mind, about this whole Afghanistan withdrawal, all right? Because I want to make sure you Trump supporters got it in your head, what really happened, all right? So Trump, not Biden, negotiated directly with the Taliban terrorists and excluded the Afghan army. You can go look it up. Trump, not Biden, drew down U.S. forces from 13,000 to 2,500, making them vulnerable for the attacks. Trump, not Biden, ordered the release of 5,000 Taliban fighters from prison, one of whom would become the new leader of Afghanistan. Trump, not Biden, wanted to invite the Taliban leaders to Camp David on the anniversary of 9/11. Seriously. Trump, not Biden, agreed to a May 1st exit from Afghanistan, then bragged that he didn't need an exit strategy. Trump, not Biden, refused to brief Biden's incoming team on the situation in Afghanistan. Trump, not Biden, shut down every air base in Afghanistan except one, crippling the United States' ability to extract its assets safely. So you Trump supporters that continue to religiously endorse Donald Trump, you got egg on your face right now. And to make matters worse, he goes to Arlington Cemetery and dances on the graves of our men and women in uniform. This man is unfit to be president of the United States. As far as I'm concerned, he's making it crystal clear. He's a domestic terrorist, and he can't wait to get in the White House and to surrender the United States over to the Taliban, to Putin, to Kim Jong-un. His loyalty is not to the United States. It's to these other countries that are our adversaries. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, join me in giving Donald Trump another round of boos and shame.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
I just don't understand why you Trump supporters continue to get out here and try to act. You try to act like we don't know what's going on. We see Donald Trump for who he is. The question is, do you see who Donald Trump really is? And I don't think any of you do. I really don't think any of you see who Donald Trump really is. All right, thank you, AD. I appreciate that. All right. I mean, let's see. So again, yesterday, what did we cover? Donald Trump disrespecting our troops.
Laura and Calvin, the White House confirming that the president has called all four families today. Representative Frederica Wilson tonight telling me that she heard the call to the widow of LaDavid Johnson, and she says she heard a comment from the president that she believes was, quote, insensitive and insane.
Minutes before she was grieving the death of her husband across his casket, President Trump calling widow Maisha Johnson.
So insensitive.
Representative Frederica Wilson was with the widow and says she heard the call by speakerphone and says she heard the president say he knew what he signed up for, but when it happens, it hurts anyway.
Yeah, he said that. So insensitive. He should not have said that, and he shouldn't have said it.
The president speaking on the death of South Florida's LaDavid Johnson and 3 other soldiers killed in Niger, falsely saying other presidents didn't contact families of the fallen.
President Obama and other presidents, most of them didn't make calls.
Now today, after former Attorney General Eric Holder tweeted, "Stop the damn lying, you're the president," Trump bending slightly on those comments during a series of radio interviews.
I really speak for myself. I'm not speaking for other people. I don't know what Bush did. I don't know what Obama did.
But the president then...
You hear that? Does anyone think Donald Trump would be a good president still after hearing that? This is Donald Trump disrespecting our men and women in uniform.
Donald Trump tonight fending off criticism that he insulted veterans when he said the nation's highest civilian honor, the Medal of Freedom, is, quote, much better than the Medal of Honor, which is reserved for America's greatest war heroes. Trump was addressing Republican mega donor Miriam Adelson, who he awarded the Medal of Freedom when he was in office.
We gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest award you can get as a civilian. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but civilian version. It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman.
Anybody able to explain what Donald Trump meant by that? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. Let's have that conversation. What did Donald Trump mean when he said that? What does he mean when he's walking around here disrespecting our men and women in uniform? You see, ladies and gentlemen, these Trump supporters, they know it's too much to deal with. They know it's too much to deal with to try to get in the box after hearing their cult leader say these things. All right, they always have something to say. Oh, Zeus, you're lying, Zeus. Oh, can I zip it already? Oh, you want to talk to Zeus? Taton. Okay, come on up here.
My friend, why are you spreading propaganda?
Wait. You got an echo.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll come back. Hold on.
I'm spreading He says I'm spreading propaganda. Does anyone think I'm out here spreading propaganda? Am I spreading propaganda? Does anyone believe that I am? I don't. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "Can you zip it already?" It must be getting uncomfortable for him. Look at that, all those no's. I'm not spreading any propaganda unless you call what Donald Trump is saying propaganda. Then I guess I am. You know, it's very unfortunate. There he is. All right, there he goes. All right, yeah.
Is there still an echo, Zeus?
I don't think so.
My friend, I think you're spreading propaganda. I don't think you know what diplomacy is, and so you misinterpreting a lot of things.
Well, help us understand what we missed, or what I missed. How about that? Maybe everyone else caught it. I didn't catch it. I mean,
right. So when Trump is going to the Taliban and doing all of these acts of kindness, it's called diplomacy. He's trying to establish diplomatic ties in a smart manner, in a non-aggressive manner, so he can avoid any more terrorism. Okay, and that's called diplomacy. Okay.
Okay. So you don't see him doing this in terms of it putting the United States at a disadvantage.
My friend, your party puts us at a disadvantage every day. I mean, they don't even know how to solve the war in Ukraine. They don't know how to solve the war in the Middle East.
There you. Okay. So let's go through these. Come back here. So let's start with negotiating directly with Taliban terrorists. I thought we don't negotiate with terrorists in the United States. When did that become a thing?
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have
So
to.
you so okay, and that helps the United States how?
Because listen, we've tried everything. We tried to go to war with these people. It never worked. You need to try a different approach. And I don't
Okay,
think people understand that.
so negotiating with terrorists helps us by what? Complete the
My friend,
sentence.
my friend.
No. Don't do the friend thing because I don't have any friends. To be quite honest, I don't have
You
any
don't
friends.
understand how this
So
thing works.
so I'm gonna give you an F. All right, you go by name Tayton. You don't get it. You get an F when you say it's okay to negotiate with terrorists. Okay, that's not what we do, especially when it places the United States at a disadvantage because you saw the outcome, right?
We saw the
No,
outcome. Of
okay,
going to
so
war.
so why doesn't Donald Trump speak on this when he talks about what happened with Afghanistan? Why is he always talking about the end result, but never he's never? Have you ever heard him talk about doing all of this stuff?
So here's the
No.
thing.
Have you ever heard Donald Trump say he did all of this to do what you just suggested? Right? This is what we need for diplomacy. Have you heard Donald Trump say that?
He has so much on his mind. He's not going to say that. Everybody knows that's diplomacy, though. Okay.
No. You know what I call that? Terrible diplomacy.
So what do you?
That's
so
the
what is
worst
your
thing to
point now?
do.
What is
That's
your
the worst
point
thing to
now?
do.
Hold on, pause,
He
dude.
should have definitely consulted with military officials, maybe even our allies, to make sure that this thing was on the up and up and that there were no lives lost on the withdrawal.
Okay,
all right,
so let me-
but
let me-
let me give you this. You take us down from 13,000 troops to 2,500.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's what you don't understand, Zeus. Let me stop you there. See,
No.
what
No.
Trump is doing is helping less soldiers dying. When we're negotiating with these terrorists, they say, okay, they're peaceful. So they're not going to attack us. Well, what does that do? Less soldiers dying. See, you don't even understand what you're talking about.
So how old are you?
I'm 21, but I understand
done.
war.
No,
and
no.
let me tell you something.
Lord
let me
have
tell you
mercy.
something, Zeus. You
No,
can
you
never,
can't tell
can
Zeus
never
nothing,
say
sir.
that Trump is
Young
bad
man.
at diplomacy.
Young man,
Your
you can't.
party
Young
tried to
man.
do a ceasefire with
Young man.
Gaza, and
Young
there's too
man.
much blood that's been shed.
Young
It doesn't make sense.
young man, you can't tell me anything. Negotiating with your ops. Come on, bro.
Negotiating
Come
with
on,
your
let's come on.
ops?
No.
Oh
It
my
don't
God.
make
And
sense.
you're using ops. Who the hell?
Yeah.
uses ops? Oh my God,
I'm
stop it.
I'm speaking your lingo. All right,
Say
because
enemies. Say enemies.
no.
Speak correct. Speak correct.
No. I'm using your lingo. All right, I want you to know that I am tapped in. So
Pause.
you're telling me you would invite your ops to have breakfast with you
If it
in your
means
own
less
house, in your
soldiers
mama's
dying,
house,
if
in
it
your mama's
means
house.
less soldiers dying, yes.
In your mama's house, right? This is why I say you're possessed with the MAGA
But we
demon.
didn't
Because
do that. We did not do that.
he invited them to Camp David.
It doesn't matter. If
No.
that means less
On
soldiers
the
dying,
anniversary, listen. On the anniversary of 9/11, the symbolism. That's why I said ops. You got ops out here, all right? I don't know what kind of life you live. That's to me equivalent to you inviting them to your mama's house to have breakfast. Would you do such a thing? You know your family would look at you and say, "Young man, you have lost
It's
whatever
called
was in your mind."
diplomacy. You
No.
don't know what it is.
That's
Oh my
called
Lord.
foolishness. That's
Oh my
called
Lord, y'all are so
foolishness.
lost.
No,
Jesus Christ.
no, sir. It's called foolishness.
No,
Okay,
it's not.
and it's called, you know what? Corruption.
Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's foolishness. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all not intellectual enough to understand. You got to try different approaches.
Okay,
the same
next.
approach of war is not going to work. Okay,
Sir,
If it means-
sir. I'm gonna just say this. Obviously, Donald Trump is not great at strategy. He has no experience when it comes to
Is your
dealing
party
with
good at
conflict.
Is your party
When-
good at strategy? No.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Because they've been trying to do a ceasefire with the same people who are bombing civilians. That's not strategy. That is not strategy.
What
And
does
you know-
Donald Trump want to do?
He's going to stop all of that.
How?
And here's the thing.
How's Donald Trump? Wait.
Who did Zelensky call?
How is Donald Trump? Wait. How is Donald Trump going to stop? You know what? I'm going to give it to you. How is Donald Trump going to end the conflict in Ukraine and get Israel to stop? How's he going to do that?
Listen, I know a way to stop all of that. We're not.
No.
I'm not inside of Donald Trump's head, my friend.
No. But remember, you said he's good at diplomacy. So tell us.
The Democrats.
Okay, so what is he going to do? What is he going to do?
Less wars under Trump than we had the Democrats.
See, this is what I gotta mute you. All right. Now the reason I'm muting you is because I'm asking you very clear questions. I think I'm speaking clear English. What is Donald Trump going to do to stop the conflict in Israel? All right, Palestine, and in Ukraine. Answer the question, and I want you to use the word use the word diplomacy in your answer.
Bro, why do you keep muting me?
I didn't.
Okay.
I want you to answer the question. How's he going to stop the conflict?
He hasn't even stated how he's going to stop the conflict. How do you expect me to answer that? I'm not inside his head. And plus, stop, Zeus, stop. He's not going to tell his answer because what? Your party's going to steal.
So the answer to my question, young man, is you don't know. And it's okay. It's okay for you to say you don't know. And you know why? You know why you don't know? You know why you don't know? Because Donald Trump doesn't have a plan. You know why Donald Trump is, you know why he's really running, right? Do you think he's running to save this country?
Does the Democratic Party have a plan?
Are you listening?
Are
we listening? Why is Donald Trump running?
Because he can do far better than you guys can.
Wrong. That's wrong.
He wants power. Who doesn't want power?
No. He's running. He's running to stay out of prison. Remember one.
No, that is not the case. Stop
yes,
it.
he is.
Don't spread propaganda.
Yes, he is.
Spread propaganda. Do not do that.
That's the only thing that can save him. You don't believe that?
Who manufactured those felonies in virtue of being corrupt? Your party. Your party's corrupt. Any political is this your first time talking to me? Or is this your first time seeing how I run? This is my first time. Is this your first time seeing me? Yes, it
is.
Or no, it's actually not. I've watched some lives. And
Okay. So you've observed. You know I don't believe what you just said, right?
My friend.
Wait. And you don't gotta keep calling me your friend. I don't have any friends. Oh my God. That's. I want to make sure you and I have healthy boundaries between us because see, when people try to act like they're your friends, you know what they do? They slip one in you when you ain't looking. So I want to make sure you and I have a healthy distance between us. All right. Just say Zeus and I'll call you Tayton. All right. And I wouldn't have you close because you've already admitted to Zeus you would let the ops come to your mama's house. So I already know. No. And you're 20 years old. So I'm like,
21.
Okay, 21. So I know you haven't lived long enough to actually see things happen, and it takes a while for them to happen. You don't have the experience, you don't have the wisdom behind these decisions you're talking about.
The opposite.
So I'm listening to you. You've concluded that it's okay for Donald Trump to invite the Taliban to Camp David because that's diplomacy. It's okay for him to reduce the number of troops in Afghanistan down to pretty much zero. All right, because that's diplomacy. So your way of looking at diplomacy is it doesn't matter who gets hurt, and that to me is dangerous. You have example after example of people who've worked in the Trump administration telling you this man does not know a thing about our military. He doesn't.
Zeus, I cannot believe you still don't understand the point of the view. I can't believe it.
Listen to this.
July 17.
Listen to this.
It was a critical meeting at the Pentagon early on in his presidency. Jim Mattis, Rex Tillerson, Gary Cohn tried to inform the president why America's safety hinged on alliances, trade deals, military bases around the world. They used maps and graphics to try to stop Trump from getting bored. But the president was not impressed by the presentation. With leaders of the military branches around the table, the president railed against the war in Afghanistan for starters, and then things got worse. In an article adapted from their book, Rucker and Lenig write, Trump's comments, quote, stunned nearly everyone in the room, and some vowed they would never repeat them. Indeed, they have not been reported until now. I wouldn't go to war with you people, Trump told the assembled brass. Addressing the room, the commander-in-chief barked, You're a bunch of dopes and babies.
Tay,
Yes.
this is the commander-in-chief saying that about our generals. And he doesn't even know what a military base is. He doesn't understand the relationships with our allies and why that's important. And he tells them he wouldn't go to war with them and calls them a bunch of dopes and babies. And you get up here on TikTok and you say that's diplomacy?
I didn't say that that was diplomacy. I said that him negotiating
Okay,
with the
what?
Taliban. Let me finish. I said him negotiating with the Taliban in order to decrease the amount of soldiers dying. That's a perfect act of diplomacy, and it's
Okay,
100%.
okay. Let me break it down to you. He had more respect for the Taliban than he did for our men and women in uniform, even the generals. Does that make you wonder what's going on in his brain, or is that good in your? Did I say that correctly? You see what I'm doing right here, right?
Donald Trump is the military general. Okay, when he's in office. I hope you know that. It is not. See, listen. Let me.
He's the
let me-
commander in chief,
let me-
but he
let me
doesn't
say this and
listen.
I'm gonna
No, listen, Tay. Did you hear my question? He was willing to invite the Taliban to Camp David, right? That tells me he respects them, right?
He should.
Okay.
They killed your soldiers.
Okay. Hey. But I'm also giving you the example of him and how he talks to our generals, and he does not respect them.
Listen.
Now. What? Listen, you're 21. Make that make sense.
I will. I'll make it
Okay.
make sense.
How? Okay. But let me make sure I get the question out there. How is it acceptable for a commander in chief of the United States, whoever it is, to be disrespectful to our men and women in uniform, including our generals, but to also at the same time show terrorists more respect than our generals? How is that acceptable in your world?
I think that he was showing more respect, but this is all an illusion. Do you think Trump really respects the Taliban? No, he's just trying to get his goal accomplished. And you got to be able to see through that, my friend. Okay?
Wait a minute. You didn't answer my question. I didn't ask you what you
You're going to have
think.
to make it quick because you should be.
I've asked you, how is it acceptable for the president to show more respect to terrorists than our men and women in uniform?
And I said that that's an illusion. He's not doing that in our actuality. Okay? He's not doing that. It's an illusion to get his goal accomplished. What don't you understand?
Okay, so the answer is what? It's an illusion?
That is what you call diplomacy. And furthermore,
But it's costing Americans lives.
no,
Their
what
lives.
what your party is doing is costing our
Sir,
lives.
sir. Okay, so Tayton, this is where I'm just gonna have to hit the pause button real quick on you and go, listen, what you're saying doesn't make any sense to any of us. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You don't want to get cooked in the box right now by Zeus, and you think you're uncookable. But I'm literally giving you the angles you've supplied me with. No one told you to make these statements. You volunteered to say these things. And what we're doing is, it's not an illusion if Donald Trump did it. It's not an illusion if he said it. Those are facts. What you can't call facts an illusion. Is that demon grabbing you right now?
They just don't understand, guys.
That demon
You
is
have to
grabbing
be
you right now,
intellectual.
huh? That demon got you right now. Tell the
So
demon.
let me ask you,
Tell the demon
Has your Democrat Party done anything of intellectuality?
a lot.
What have they done?
If it wasn't for the Democrats, we'd probably be in a terrible situation the way
We are
Donald
in
Trump.
a terrible situation.
Okay. So here's the thing, young man. Here's the thing. You know, I'm starting to think that you're just as ridiculous as Donald Trump. You don't think respecting our men and women in uniform is an important thing to do. I see you as just as deranged as Donald Trump.
Did he not
If you
just go support the people?
listen, if we had terrorists here and our men and women in uniform, the vibe I'm getting from you is you would go over there and hug those terrorists.
Did Donald Trump not visit
No.
the dead service members of Afghanistan? Did he not just go see them? The 13 people who died? Did he not just show respect? Where
No,
was your
he-
administration? Where was your administration?
You didn't know about how this is all unfolding right now? You're not
Oh,
following
I
the
know
media.
gonna
You're not
bring up
following.
I
You're
know
not
you're gonna
following.
bring up that this was Trump's fault. I know. Okay.
No,
bring it up.
so you're not following the fact that he went in there and used it as a photo op to disrespect our men and women in uniform. You don't know this is what's going on right now. You're not following that there was an altercation that broke out because you're not supposed to be taking photos there. And he did it. He broke the law. He broke the law. All right. And now there's all kinds of fallout going on. And you're getting on TikTok trying to say this was a A+ for Donald Trump. No, this was an F.
I think Trump is willing to break the rules if he thinks it's right. If he thinks that it is right, he will break the rules, just like I will, just like anybody of intellectuality.
Yeah, okay. And you know what they do with people that break the rules, right?
They send him to prison. But here's the thing.
And I'm glad you came to that conclusion. So basically, you're telling me you're willing to throw your life away for Donald Trump. Listen, no. You're willing to throw your life away for Donald Trump, young man, and it's sad. I would expect more out of you, seriously. And if you don't take away anything from this conversation, because I know right now your mind is racing and you're going,
I'm very calm right now. I swear to God, I don't. It's not.
I know. Okay, but you're going to be thinking about this conversation, right?
I'm not. This is a regular conversation, Zeus. You're going to be thinking about me more than I think about you.
No.
Who you're talking to. You don't know who you're talking to right now.
Listen. One demon is the same demon. You've aligned yourself with terrorists. You've aligned yourself with criminals. You don't respect the Constitution. Listen. You don't respect the Constitution. All right, I've got you all figured out, and it took only 2 seconds. I've given you enough time to turn this around, and you failed.
Zeus, let me say one thing.
No, I got this. You failed. What do you want to call yourselves? Double what? Tatum? 21 years old, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great example of somebody that's unable to think for themselves because the MAGA demon has taken over his thought process. Not one thing you've said, not one thing he has said is actually making sense. It doesn't even make sense in his own world. No. I will not sit here and normalize a liar like you.
Can I say a fact?
You haven't. No. I'm doing what I got to do. Okay, so Tatum believes it's acceptable to negotiate with terrorists. Tatum believes it's okay to have the ops come to his mama's house as long as it's diplomacy. Right, Tatum? Tatum believes Donald Trump is the best thing for the United States since sliced bread.
Stop it. Y'all tell
Tatum believes that Donald Trump is he believes it's okay to break the law.
Your party dropped bombs on Palestine.
Yeah, okay. So guess what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Tatum believes that you said terrorist attack. So what was your opinion about January 6th, real quick? That was okay, right?
You guys support Netanyahu. You guys are the terrorists. What the hell are you talking about? You support Netanyahu.
Okay, so Tatum is over here spazzing out. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Tatum is a good example of somebody possessed with the MAGA demon. Yeah. He wants to point the finger and say everybody is the problem except him. Tatum, January 6th, you know who the terrorists were? You. Yeah. You are supporting a party that aligns with white supremacists. Tatum, I didn't know Tatum at 21 years old. I didn't know you could manage to somehow let yourself down, let your family down, let your community down at such a young age. Tatum, get out of politics, all right, and just get a normal 9 to 5, all right, because you're way out of your league. You don't understand anything when it comes to our United States military. You sat here and excused Donald Trump disrespecting our troops while at the same time praising terrorists and these foreign dictators. I called you terrorists, all right? Tatum, as far as I'm concerned, you're a prime candidate for hell. And I'm going to turn the temperature up in the lake of fire for you. All right? We are not friends. Absolutely not. You take that mess somewhere else on TikTok. But over here, no. We're not friends. We are actually enemies. Now that I think about it, all right? And I don't even use that word a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do? Let's send Tatum at 21 years old. He lived a good life. I want to say he might be a good person, but I just didn't see it in him. I didn't see it in him. Join me in throwing Tayton in this nice lake of fire that I have queued up by giving him, you guessed it, a round of booze and shame.
Silence! You matter, Dayton!
You know, they got that trick. Oh, well, we're going to bring up Palestine, Zeus, and we're going to get into that to try to get you. You're not going to get Zeus in that. I already know it's a waste of my time to have a conversation with you about that when you got up here and said it's okay to have your ops in the house with your mama. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never. This is the issue. This guy, he probably lives in his mom's basement somewhere, and he thinks he's right. All right, let's bring up the next panelist. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. All right, he does love the poorly educated. All right, yeah, you know it's a sad situation out here, ladies and gentlemen. Please put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and you believe what Tayton said. Put a 1 in the chat. Come on up here. All right. This is what we got to do, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he's a basement dweller. I agree. And I bet you, okay, we got one. We got a MAGA demon right here. Steve. There we go, Steve. Come on up here, Steve. Oh. Come on up here, Steve. There he is. Good morning, Steve. How are you doing?
I can't believe what you said about the generals.
What part?
Those generals that you thought were so loyal and honorable kicked our soldiers out for not taking the jab.
Is that where'd you get that from?
Oh, please, you're really making yourself look uneducated. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Please, just give us the source. Remember, you're the smart one, Steve. So give us the source. What general did what, and give us the source. Because if you don't have it, Steve, I'm just going to be led to believe that you're one of these people like the previous guest. You're just a chaos agent. You believe everything Donald Trump says, right? You're a Trump supporter, right?
Oh, I'm definitely a Trump supporter.
Yeah. Have you ever can I ask you a serious question? Can I ask you a serious question, Steve? Has there ever been a moment where you thought to yourself, you know what? Donald Trump is lying. Have you ever had that moment yet?
I actually think every one of them, like Kamala, lied about Biden. She knew how sick he was. She lied. She lied to us.
I get it. But did you hear my question?
Yeah, I said I think they all lie.
I'm saying, have you ever? What was my question, Steve? I'm confused.
You said, did I ever think Trump lied?
Have you ever had that thought?
Of course I have.
What? And did you ever find something?
I have never found anything, but I still think he has lied about things.
You've never found anything.
In a contest, who lies the most?
No, I'm just trying to test your honesty and your integrity before we move forward. Like the last guest was he was a mess, right? He had no integrity.
Actually, he wasn't that bad. He really wasn't that bad.
So you would invite the Taliban into your kitchen?
Yeah. You know what? Let me tell you something.
No. Would you?
No, I'm saying the art of the negotiation.
Steve, would you invite the Taliban? You're older. I think you got more wisdom than that knucklehead that was in here. Would you? You know who the Taliban is, right?
Yes.
Would you? Let's just give you the same scenario. Would you invite them to Camp David?
What does it matter where I invite them to?
Okay, would you?
I would want to sit down with them to save lives.
You would. So just the answer. Yes. So you would invite terrorists to Camp David on the anniversary of 9/11. You yourself, you don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't see anything wrong with trying to negotiate to save lives.
I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you. I don't see anything wrong with trying to save lives, but I do see something wrong with disrespecting our men and women in uniform. I do see something wrong with inviting the Taliban to have, to the Camp David on the anniversary of 9/11. So, do you want to answer the question or not?
Korea. Were you offended when Trump crossed the line in North Korea?
So you're dancing all over. The number one thing I asked you, Steve, and you all do this little pivot thing real great, but the thing about Zeus, I have a good memory. I have a good memory. My original question was, have you ever came to the conclusion that Donald Trump lied about something? And your answer was, you haven't found anything.
That's right, but I don't.
Okay.
Lie to us.
Do you have your computer next to you or a device that you can use to look up? Okay, could you look up Trump lies over 30,000 times into your search engine? And I want you to tell me what pops up.
You know what?
I'm gonna give it to you, Steve. I'm gonna give it to you, Steve.
I don't believe the internet. You've been calling Trump a liar ever since he got in. You say and here Biden and Harris has lied to us so many times, and all you do is blame Trump.
Sir, I didn't ask you if you believe the internet, but it's funny you said that quicker than you said you don't believe Trump. I'm just keeping score of what you're doing.
There's about 10% that I don't believe that Trump says. There's about 10%.
Okay,
I can live with that.
Okay, but did you look up what I needed you to look up?
I'm not. It's a waste of time.
Why is it a waste of time? What makes it a waste of time? Don't you want to be set free? See, I can tell, Steve, you actually want to come out of the cult. I can tell.
I'm not in the cult. How can I want to come out?
Because you're actually willing to actually have a thoughtful conversation, though it's broken a bit, but I sense there's something about you that you want to see the truth. So if you wouldn't mind, at least indulge us for a quick second and tell us what came up when you looked up Trump lies over 30,000 times in your search engine. Because I don't control your phone, right? I don't control your devices. So whatever you enter, that's completely on you. All the cookies in your devices, whatever you enter, it should come back Steve's results. So what did you get?
I'm not doing that. I don't have to do that.
But I know you don't have to.
It's just like you when you said
I know you don't.
That was the most uneducated comment this guy, I'm telling you, he wasn't that bad of a caller.
Steve, if you don't mind, it would mean
I don't trust you. I think you lie. Okay, you keep pointing the finger at Trump when you've got a president right now and vice president who's done nothing but lie to us.
Steve, what have I lied? Steve, what have I lied about? All I've asked you is to look up the information.
I'm not. That's a waste of time.
Wouldn't you say that's actually being diplomatic? That's real diplomacy, right? I'm not asking you to invite terrorists over to your house. I'm just saying, hey, it doesn't cost you anything just to go look this up. Please go check it out. And you won't do it.
I would love to ask you,
Steve.
Really think, I'm going to see who lies and who doesn't. Do you really think you're better off now with Biden and Harris than you were with Trump? Do you really believe that?
Actually, I do, but if you don't mind, and I'll explain why, if you just go and look up this one thing for us. Please, Steve. Don't make Zeus ask more than once. If you don't mind, Steve, because I would imagine, Steve, you're a Christian too, right?
Oh, yes. I'm a believer.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. And the good book says what? My sheep hear my voice, right? You remember that? Steve?
No, but that's okay.
Steve?
I don't know the Bible
Steve,
100%.
But you're a believer.
Yes.
Okay. So you need to be... You what?
I'm also a sinner.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? It's starting to sound like you're telling the truth. Because that you are. But I heard the mouse clicking. Go ahead, let us know what you covered, what you found.
What do you want me to look up?
Trump lies over 30,000 times.
I love when you guys put these numbers on it. Like you got to counter how many times he's lied.
But Steve, remember, this is your computer.
Oh, look at this. Washington Post.
Mm-hmm. What else?
The Washington Post.
What other sources?
Trump, first thing up, Trump's false or misleading claims total 30,005 over 4 years. The Washington Post.
But aren't there more sources than that, Steve?
I'm giving you the very first one.
Okay, well then what's the second one? Who's
Mother
that from?
Jones.
Who's
Mother
the
Jones?
what's the third one?
How far do I have to go?
I mean,
The Hill. Oh my God, The Hill. That's a great source. Listen to the sources you're giving.
But no, Steve, I gotta stop you. That's your Steve. Steve, remember I said earlier, that's your computer, right?
Okay.
That's your computer, right? That's based on your search history.
You got caught though.
That's your search history. That's your computer. That's your machine. I don't have any control over that. I don't have any control over that, Steve. That's your machine. Now, either you're saying
Look it up.
So you think I control your computer?
What's that have to do with anything? Oh, here's a good one. The Atlantic. Trump's most lies. The Atlantic. It's like all these polls are showing Harris is ahead. Look at the skewed. They're Democratic skewed. This is who you want me to trust. Like I said, they all lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us. Steve is on the verge of coming out of that cold. Steve, are you there? Uh-oh. Looks like, wow. It happens every time. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, now let's be honest for a quick second. Could you please put the computer down for a second and you're back on TikTok with Zeus real quick?
Okay.
Now, what feeling came across you when you discovered all of those lies Trump was telling and that Kamala Harris was leading in the poll? Describe the feeling if you don't mind.
I knew it was a lie.
Well, feelings are like happy, sad, fear, anger.
Not sad at
Which
all.
Which one do you?
I actually believe Trump might.
You were happy? I didn't. No.
Votes.
Wait. I'm asking you, what feeling came over you?
I didn't have any feel at all.
So you're numb to that information.
I was numb to the polls when I looked at how they were skewed. That's
So
the
you
first thing I looked at. You know,
okay?
I have a national.
Were you happy? But let me ask it this way: Were you happy when you found out Trump lied that many times, and that he was losing to Kamala Harris? Did that make you feel happy?
No, it didn't bother me because I knew it was a lie.
No, it didn't. So it didn't. Okay, did it? No, I didn't ask you that. I just said yes or no question. Did it make you feel sad?
You know what? I got to say that I did feel bad in a way because there's a lot of uneducated people out there that go by MSNBC, look at the polls, the Washington Post, and they think that's gospel.
What if I were to tell you, Steve? What if I were to tell you,
you know,
Steve?
I have a national talk show, and I'm used to this.
You have a national talk show. You haven't been aware of the fact that Donald Trump lied this much. Don't you think that's?
I don't believe someone can sit there with a counter and count how many times they lie. And you know what? When it comes from a Democratic skewed, it's just them lying.
But what if I were to tell you, because it came from multiple sources, that it's actually not just one person that's able to keep track of this. It's a lot of people who've been keeping track of it. And that it is true that Donald Trump told those lies and misleading statements throughout the course of his presidency. And I could give you an example of a lie that you and I both know he did tell us, right? Remember the pandemic? Were you around during that time in the United States? Didn't he say it would be gone by summer?
Yes.
That was a lie, right?
No, I think he really felt that. No, I don't think he was actually lying. No one knew about the pandemic, including Fauci.
So you don't have a problem with Fauci, or you do have a problem with
I
him?
have a big problem with Fauci.
What? What's the problem? You just exonerated Fauci because you basically said Fauci didn't know either. So how can you have a problem with Fauci, but then not have a problem with Trump? Trump selected Fauci.
I'll tell you why. Fauci is supposedly a scientist and should know. President's not a scientist. He has to go by what Fauci tells him.
Okay. So you're struggling to still come to the light. What about the lie? What about the lie that? Let me ask you the other question. There was another lie, the big lie. You know, he lied about the outcome of the 2020 election. That was a lie, right?
Oh, I believe there was so much cheating going on.
But was no outcome determinative? There was no outcome determinative fraud. They said there was no outcome determinative fraud. As a matter of fact, the lie you believed, especially with the poll worker. Well, if you read the indictment, you'll go look at it, and it's in there. All right, this one in DC. That's a DC indictment. All right, you can go look at it. All right, a lot of evidence. He even hired his own companies to research the actual results, and they came back and told him he lost. He appealed it 60 times in the courts. They told him he lost. I mean, look at the people who've been indicted behind this. At a certain point, Steve, you have to understand he lied about that. And look at the lie. And look at the lie. And Steve,
how come Biden's not in jail right now? How come Biden's not in jail for doing something even worse than Trump did? You want to talk about hiding documents? His was in his garage next to his car.
Did you read the report?
I did read the report.
So you know why there weren't any charges brought then. You trust the report. You trust the report, right?
I don't trust the man who wrote the report anymore because they won't let him talk.
Okay. And Steve, you know what you just did? And this is going to help you. Okay. Every source that I've given you, your response once you see the truth is I don't trust it.
Okay.
The only thing you trust, Steve, the only thing you trust.
Let me say something, because you guys love talking to get your points, and you don't let people talk. If I told you Newsmax or Fox said something, you're going to say it's a lie because it's Newsmax or Fox. Why?
No, that's not why. That's not why I would be able to look in the information and go look it up myself to verify it. Especially with Fox's track record, right? You know they've been sued before. They were spreading the big lie, right? So we got to double check but you should do it with all news agencies. We just don't go off of what the news say. You actually got to go one step further, which is what I'm showing you. And so I've noticed the lies that Donald Trump told, the 30,000. I told you to go look it up. You looked it up. And it shocked you. It blew your socks off.
No,
all right.
It didn't.
I'm talking to you about Donald Trump's lying about the pandemic. It shocked you. It blew your socks off, and you're making excuses for Donald Trump. I'm telling you about the big lie. Donald Trump lost the election. It's shocking to you, and it's blowing your socks off. You've created a world, Steve, where only things that make you feel good can get through. But you're not allowing these other things that are going on to get through. So your perspective is very, very skewed. It's off. This is why you're in the situation you're in. And not just you, a lot of you. I can handle bad news about Joe Biden. I can handle bad news about Kamala Harris.
You know what? You sound like a very intelligent man. I'm going to give that to you. But I got to tell you something. A 2-year-old could figure out that Harris does not belong being president.
Okay, but a 2-year-old could also figure out that Donald Trump, and if we're being honest, he was impeached twice, correct?
Oh, God. Yeah, right, okay.
Steve.
Okay. Come on.
You brought the 2-year-old example up. He was impeached twice.
Yeah.
So that shows me terrible at the job. You get impeached twice on your first term.
Biden hasn't been impeached.
Steve,
how come he hasn't been impeached?
Steve, I'm just showing you, and I'm using
but
your.
You're okay with Biden,
Steve, Biden's not running. So let's move on.
Yeah, he is. Are you kidding me? Biden's all of his policies are running. Are you kidding me?
No. I'm saying Biden is not even. Biden is not trying to be president. Steve. Biden's not trying to be president in 2020 next term. All right. Biden's only going to do one term. He's not trying to get a second term, Steve. All right. Okay. So let me finish what I was saying, because I want to go back to your analogy. The 2-year-old could see Kamala Harris isn't fit. I don't know what the 2-year-old would see that proves your point, but let's just say that a 2-year-old could see that. That same 2-year-old would have to come to that conclusion as well about Donald Trump, because guess what? Like I said, he was impeached twice. He's been convicted 34 felonies, right?
Those are going to go away.
He's been indicted at least. Steve.
The judge's daughter. If you went to court and the judge's daughter is making millions off of you, you would be a little upset about that.
Steve.
That trial was a farce, and everybody knows it.
Steve, I'm gonna have to mute you. I need to get through this thought. He was found liable for essaying, all right, and grape, E. Jean Carroll. He was fined 80 million for that. He's been found to have been running a very corrupt business, all right, decades of fraud, and he's been fined $500 million. All right. So Steve, are you there? Please hit unmute. I want to make sure you and I both understand this. This is a man who stole our national secrets and refused to comply. Steve, hit unmute, Steve. All right. Steve, hit unmute. All right. I'd hate to have to mute you again. Hit unmute. All right. So when you say there's a 2-year-old, Steve, when you say a 2-year-old could see Kamala Harris isn't fit, that same 2-year-old would have way more information about Donald Trump, way more evidence about Donald Trump, that they would have to conclude if anyone was unfit, it's him.
You're comparing apples to oranges.
No. I'm using your analogy. All right. So we can't bring Donald. You can't say Kamala Harris is unfit. She hasn't done a thing that actually escalated to that level. She hasn't. You might disagree with her on policy. That's fine. But you can't say she's a criminal. You can't say she cheated on her partner. You can't say she's been impeached. You can't say she lied to us about the dangers of the pandemic. You can't say
she didn't cheat on her partner. Say that?
Yeah, I sure did. I said it with my whole chest too. But... Okay, so Steve, Steve, your signal is going bad. You're on that MAGA Wi-Fi. Huh? Oh yeah, somebody just brought it up. Somebody just brought this up. This is the nail in the coffin, though. You saw him in those photos with Jeffrey Epstein? Steve, are you there? Are you on? Can you get on the real Wi-Fi? The MAGA Wi-Fi is not working. So you saw him in those photos with Jeffrey, right? What?
Yes.
What are your thoughts about him being in the photos with that? Now I can hear you.
Okay. I guess the same thoughts I had when Biden said he knew nothing about his son's involvement in business, and then they had a picture of all of his partners playing golf together. Not the same.
That's not the same, because one involved Steve, that involved little kids. And you know better as a Christian, that's unacceptable. And can we just stick to Donald Trump? Because Biden's not running. Steve, one last thing. Here what do you think about this, Steve? Steve, what do you think about this?
My daughter. If Ivanka were my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
What do you think about Trump saying that?
I couldn't understand it. I'm sorry.
If Ivanka were my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
He says if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, perhaps he would be dating her. What are your thoughts about that?
Do you want my true thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember before you were telling us how well you knew Donald Trump, which you've probably never met. Maybe you have, but I don't think you have.
How about this one?
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or
Listen
golf.
to this.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
So Donald Trump says him and his daughter have, intercourse in common. And he says if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, perhaps he'd be dating her. And you're going to say what?
I'm going to say I'm so glad I still have a sense of humor at 60 years old.
What does that mean?
Means the Democrats have no sense of humor. You just take every little thing he says and dissect it and turn it into talking points.
That you're a Christian.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we just covered that he was in those photos with Epstein, right?
It doesn't mean anything.
No. You just heard him talk about his daughter in a nasty way. All right? And there's a lot more information out there that shows this man is definitely a sick man. And you're saying on TikTok, as a Christian, 60 years old, he was just joking. Was he joking when he raped his wife, Ivana? The hair plug incident. You remember that?
No.
Oh, you should go look it up.
Okay.
Was he joking when he raped and defamed E. Jean Carroll? Because that went to court.
Raped her. He never
say grape. Say grape. You got to say grape. This is TikTok. Say grape. We don't say the R word. All right. And he went to court, and the judge concluded that it was grape. All right. They just didn't know if it was his mushroom or his fingers. All right. So you have more than enough evidence, Steve, to make the right choice. There's no excuse for you to end up in the lake of fire. All right. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to get some professional help. All right. Because you're in a cult, and whatever show you're running, pull the plug on it. All right. Start all over because you're spreading. You're spreading misinformation and disinformation, and you need to really repent. Do you want to repent now before you end up in hell? Because we can do it. I have some very good people in here that could get you some prayer and cast that MAGA demon that's possessed you out. There's no reason you should be this unwilling to accept the truth. I've given you so much information, even Donald Trump's words.
You gave me the Washington Post.
I gave you his words.
Anyway, you know what? Let's talk again after Trump gets over 100 million votes. Let's talk again.
Okay. I don't know if you'll make it. I don't think you'll make it because you're going to lose I can't even say it on TikTok, once he loses. Kamala Harris, Steve, will be your next president.
No way.
All right?
No
Goodbye,
way.
Steve. Steve, you're a liar, and you're the worst of the worst.
We've caught you in so many lies.
No, you haven't.
You're a hypocrite. You really are. You're a major hit, and we also
Steve,
know
you're
getting paid to do what you're doing. We know the company that's paying you to do this. We've already found it.
What's the name? Okay.
To do this.
If you can give me that company
starts with the letter P as in Paul. We know you're getting paid. Stop the act. Stop the act.
Steve,
you go repent.
Steve, if you could give me the name of that company, please show me the screenshot. I'll take it. Because if they owe me some money, I'm going to get it. Please, Steve, show me the evidence. Because other than that, I'm going to have to conclude you're a liar.
Next week.
Okay.
Next week. And you know you're getting paid for this. You know you are.
It's coming out next week, Steve. You're disgusting and you're a liar. You're not a Christian. You're a hypocrite. No. And you know how this goes. And you know how this goes, Steve. Steve. The truth is not in you. You're not an agent. Steve.
Go to the Atlantic.
Steve, the truth is not in you. Steve, the truth is not in you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great honor that I have to do this to Steve. Steve, you're just as deranged as the first guest, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? We must continue to deliver the truth no matter what it takes. And we're going to take care of business. Steve, I've just turned up the temperature on the lake of fire. Extra crispy for you. Leighton first, now Steve. 2 peas in a pod. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great honor that I do this. Join me and sending Steve O, who is possessed with the MAGA demon. Join me in sending him straight to the pits of hell by giving him a round of, you guessed it, booze and shame.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
It's a sad day on TikTok when, people can't even look up the information on their own. They don't trust. Steve doesn't trust his own computer. Steve doesn't trust himself, and he doesn't trust his reflection. He doesn't trust his shadow. The only thing Steve O trusts is Donald Trump. Steve, have you ever thought to yourself, Donald Trump is a liar? Yeah, I thought he, but I don't know which lie. Steve, look this up. Well, you think I'm going to trust the devil? Steve, what a shame. And you call yourself a Christian. This is why I say what I say, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of these Trump supporters, they're stuck in a dark, dark, dangerous place. And the truth is not in them. All right, let's talk to one more. All right, then we'll open up those boxes. Are there any Trump supporters in the chat right now? Any Trump supporters in the chat that, believe what Steve said is true? Please put a 1 in the chat. If you support Steve, put a 1 in the chat, all right? Because we got a lot. We got a lot going on. It seems to me like Trump supporters, they don't even take what Donald Trump says seriously. All right? I mean,
You don't mind if I go off teleprompter for a second, do you?
All right.
Trump himself never served in uniform. He sought 4 deferments and 1 medical disqualification, citing bone spurs in his foot to avoid going to Vietnam.
Yeah. This is a guy who's never spent a day in the uniform. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? We've been flagged. I guess Steve and his friends, they're not feeling so good. So what we will do is, we got to restart the live, ladies and gentlemen. All right, please. I will be right back. Oh my goodness. All right. I'll be right back. It is what it is. You just got to follow the rules on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. I'll restart the live in 3, 2, 1. All right, I'll be right back.